How much are you in for?
I tell everyone I'm going all in.
In just a few clicks, you create a wallet, register, pay for power, and collect tokens.
The more power there is, the faster it'll be and the less it'll cost.
It's a freebie, guys. Exactly what you need.
Other pools, they aren't even real competitors yet.
You already have $25, you just don't know where to get them. Well, friends, we have an unusual event today. Such interesting guys have gathered. Dmitry Razumovsky, Igor Bondarenko, Sergei Drozdovsky, and our topic today is not quite ordinary. It's a topic that's currently hyped. It's the Gonka project, which I think everyone has already talked about, probably Oscar Hartman too in a podcast. There are a lot of podcasts about it. So I'd like to ask, as an ordinary user, what is it? What's it all about? Tell us about this project.
Alexei, well, you named everyone, but what about yourself?
Well, I'm Alexei Voskresensky.
Why are we here? Gonka. That is, you can be a spectator, you can be a participant, you can be an object of action, you can create reality. We are those who... You can be observers or you can create the future. What do you choose? We choose to create the future. Accordingly, we join the race. And our goal is to create a transparent, huge, powerful, strong, resourceful pool. A mining pool for mining the Gonka token.
Moreover, the Formula X pool doesn't just create the pool itself. It participates in training artificial intelligence. That is, Gonka specifically helps to further improve the performance of artificial intelligence and load the capacities.
Well, I understand I'm actively using neural networks now. Yes, I really like it. I create video generations, obviously ChatGPT, all sorts of neural networks. But what will, let's say, attract me to your project, right? Well, what benefits will I get? What will happen?
It's very simple. You can earn from innovations, or you can watch others do it. Were you able to become a Bitcoin miner and get, say, 1,000 Bitcoins in the first year? Well, you can be a Gonka miner, and you can get 1,000 Gonka tokens, and the token is in no way inferior to Bitcoin.
So you mean to say that the prospects for the Gonka token are comparable to Bitcoin? Why is that?
It's very simple. Just look into the future, about 30 years ahead, and imagine what AI will do, what discoveries it will make for people, what inventions it will make, how it will help replace professions, how it will increase labor productivity. Can you imagine that?
Well, possibly. Already 50%.
Can you imagine how many jobs will be gone by then?
They say half could already be gone right now at this moment. That's already...
So basically, AI is like a magic wand. Whoever holds AI rules the world.
Well, I agree. I agree.
Now imagine that this magic wand is in the hands of 5 corporations. 5 of the largest American corporations. The Chinese are trying to catch up. And roughly speaking, America is monopolizing the entire AI market. And you'll be asking for permission whether you can use AI or not.
So at this point, it becomes the race to build data centers like the ones Tesla, OpenAI, Microsoft, Google. Yeah, these are all basically echoes of everyone wanting as much power as possible to help.
Gonka allows for the unification of decentralized power worldwide, just like with the Bitcoin protocol. So the Gonka protocol unites the independent power of various private miners and servers into one global capacity where artificial intelligence can be trained and perform its tasks, that is, computing and training. And it doesn't belong to just one person, so to speak. We don't know what's on that one person's mind, but this belongs to everyone.
So it's a decentralized project, let's say, right?
Yes. Well, you should check out and listen to plenty of materials by the Lieberman brothers, the ideologists of this project. Listen to their podcasts with Margulan Seyzenbayev, Oscar Hartman, Alexander Sokolovsky, and many others. And after that, you'll stop sleeping.
You said it's a magic wand. Well, a real struggle is unfolding for this magic wand right now. That's why the project was named Gonka. Whoever is ahead will also be the one controlling all the processes of artificial intelligence.
So you, with your Formula X project, want to enter this story as an organized pool, so to speak. I mean, you want to be part of this whole thing in a more structured way, right?
Yes, we are organizing a professional infrastructure where every market participant, every user, client, any person can connect through a pool and collectively participate in mining the token Gonka. It's clear that one person can rent 1 unit of power, say 1 conventional unit or 1 GPU computing module. Yes, while 10, 20, 30, 50 people can collectively rent 50 to 100 GPUs. And as a pool, we become a major market participant, a big player, and can take part in voting on the development of the decentralized Gonka protocol network.
So another question arises, is this an investment or is it a business?
Well, it's a business because there are means of production here. So anyone can join this pool, meaning by putting in their money, they invest and get a share of this pool, thereby earning an income in the form of GNK tokens and also income from the license itself. So the more participants join in, the more processing power there is for artificial intelligence.
In simple terms, a mining pool, he says, is when people come together, pool their money and buy something very expensive. For example, one person cannot afford to buy something expensive. Power costs, say, one server there can cost $200,000 to $300,000. And to get this server running, people pool small amounts, say $1,000 each or 2, 3, 5, whatever they can. A pool is formed and the power is turned on. Mining starts.
What kind of income can be projected? Well, let's say I found the funds, right? Let's say, took from the family budget around $500 to $1,000, let's say $1,000, and joined your pool.
Right, we've simplified everything as much as possible for people like you. That is, we've unified it. Meaning client funds are combined into shared pools of $10,000. Say you're 500, someone else is 500, 1,000. $10,000 is accumulated, and these funds go toward renting power, renting servers. A number is assigned to this pool, a hash is linked to this number, so all clients see and understand how much they've sent to mining, and they see the total mining hash. They understand what percentage of these tokens belongs to their resources, right? And what they can expect, how many tokens. Everyday tokens are credited transparently, and accordingly you receive Gonka tokens, which you're free to use however you want. So it's just like how you used to be able to get Bitcoins for a CAPTCHA, or how you could mine Bitcoins on any home computer back then. Now it can only be done on an industrial scale, only through powerful equipment, only in large data centers. There can be collective mining there, or it could be someone large and private.
How can you project profitability? How could you project profitability for Bitcoin back in 2015? At that time, the profitability was one thing, but given the growing demand for Bitcoin, its value increases. It's the same thing here. The demand for increasing the amount of artificial intelligence processing power is growing. Given the limit of 1 billion GNK tokens, its value increases.
So there's a limited, let's say, supply, right? There will be 1 billion.
Yes.
In general, no one can ever say for sure about profitability. In such projects, in such companies where mining takes place, many factors affect the price, and therefore exact profitability cannot be predicted at the moment. But we can look at the analogs that have already existed, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, other blockchains, other infrastructure, very large companies like that. That's how their growth happened. It was exponential there, from cents to $100 to $1,000.
Well, basically, the infrastructure grows, demand increases, and accordingly, supply is limited, right?
It's important to understand the market size here. That is, the number of requests to GPT is growing, the number of AI agents worldwide is growing, the demand for computing is only growing. This demand is not met for the next 5 years and will only continue to grow. And this market, it really is a $1 trillion market. And the point is that the Gonka token is a share of a $1 trillion market. That is, all the growing demand for the next 30 years or so, and the token is a share of this market.
But you also have to understand that they will use specifically the capacities provided by Gonka and not their competitors who aren't sitting still either, like OpenAI and Tesla and Google, right?
Of course.
You can already see it now. It's already visible from what's happening in the market. Many of the companies you just named, which specifically form DexCloud, they are losing stock value. Why? Because processing with artificial intelligence is cheaper. And that's why large companies that need to process a larger issue, a major task, a big task, they turn specifically to artificial intelligence, which uses Gonka's capacities.
Well, what then will be, let's say, its competitive advantage, right? If we're talking about that, yeah? They say decentralization, but for me, as an ordinary user, decentralization doesn't really well affect things much, right? For me, the price of the matter is what's important, you know? How much I spend, let's say, on getting information, yeah, and the speed of data processing, and how much it will be cut or not cut, because I noticed that, for example, I started using DeepSeek there. At first, it processed certain files. Then suddenly I see they're cutting back its functionality, so to speak. They also say that this is happening.
There's not enough capacity. That's why they're cutting it. And in general, the real struggle is unfolding between large corporations and between countries. America controls 90% of the AI market already as of today. And it wants to push aside large countries like China and India, to push them back by maybe 6 months or a year to stay ahead in development. Yes, basically there's a struggle for capacity here, and so even chip manufacturers, Nvidia for example, America controls who gets how many chips, which country to sell them to.
Let's, by the way, yeah, get to the point about chips, yeah, and ASICs, the ones that are specifically involved in mining, yeah, the Gonka token. There are some companies now that are developing, I've heard, their own ASICs, their own chips, bypassing, let's say, all these sanctions that impose restrictions on countries, and they can't develop in this field.
Bitmain, Bitfury are the world's largest manufacturers of mining equipment for Bitcoin mining. It's known that to date, equipment worth over 300 billion has been produced. Yes, and this mining equipment, its power, the power of these chips over the lifespan of Bitcoin, and specifically because of Bitcoin, has increased 300,000 times. That is the power of chips, the power of processors, the power of computing systems.
So it's all thanks to decentralization then?
Because it didn't belong to any single person. I mean, if one person, say, bought Bitcoin miners, then, well, it wouldn't matter to him how much is mined, since he has all the miners. He's the one mining. But since there's constant struggle and competition among miners for speed, chip performance grows exponentially every year. And all this led to an incredible growth in computing itself, yes, and in equipment performance. The Gonka protocol is following this same path. So it's repeating Bitcoin's path, but it's ahead by several dozen times because the infrastructure is already ready. People's awareness is ready, and there's already an understanding of missed opportunities. Everyone who doesn't have 1,000 Bitcoins
is already significantly worse off.
That they can have thousands of tokens of Gonka, thousands of GNK. I mean, you can only do this right now. In a year or two, it will be impossible to do this, but right now it's possible.
So the Gonka token can't drop, right? So we're forecasting some kind of growth.
It can fluctuate, but the demand for computing, AI computing, has been growing at an arithmetic progression for the last few years since AI appeared. Demand is growing at an infinite pace. Accordingly, either America will own this or some market share will be captured by
the Gonka pool holders, including us guys. So there's an opportunity.
The Lieberman brothers who came up with this idea of Gonka, they said there's a lot of capacity in the world that's not being used, and it's held by different people in different companies. It can be connected and rented out. In this way, creating competition for companies like Anthropic, for example, like OpenAI and others, and creating alternative access for ordinary people to AI computing.
Yes, so anyone, I'd like to add a bit. Imagine you have a graphics card at home that's not being used, right? You can connect to this network, to this pool, to any pool, and by doing so, you increase the Gonka network itself, which can then process more information. And so the cost of computing decreases. The more capacity there is, the faster it will be, and the less it will cost.
But the card must cost some money, I assume. A specific graphics card?
Not any graphics card, a specific one.
Let me put it even simpler. Let's say we take any country. Well, let's take an African country, Uganda, right? It realizes it'll have to stay in the Stone Age. China has artificial intelligence, the US has it, meaning progress there moves at an arithmetic speed, while that's it. This country just can't compete with them in anything at all. So what's to be done? Set up powerful data centers, deploy your own AI, and train it yourself. That means billions in investment to deploy a massive infrastructure where the artificial intelligence will be trained. Such a country or corporation can connect via API protocol to the Gonka network and just start using all the available power immediately.
renting their power, it seems.
Just rent it and launch your AI-based startups, training on that power. The Americans won't let them in, the Chinese won't, because they've taken the market. But Gonka will let everyone in. You just have to pay for it with the GNK token. So this country will go to the market, buy up the GNK token, pay for the power, and possess the same resource, perform the same calculations, compete, and stay on trend with those monopolizing the market.
So it turns out not even a country. If we scale this down, say our company, we have a startup, we need power, we don't have money for data centers, and we want to use AI power. We get together, roughly speaking, we go in.
Yes, we have two paths. Either we raise $25 million, build a data center, and spend a year on it. Allocate land, bring in equipment, turn it on, the equipment gets old, we try to bring in new stuff. Basically, we get bogged down trying to create a data center. And only then, after 6 to 12 months, do we start doing calculations. Or we instantly, right today, connect to the Gonka network. By the way, 84,000 completed references, that is successful AI calculation requests. To this network already exist as of today, and a very important update is being prepared. Accordingly, all participants in Gonka token mining will start receiving rewards for these references. So we're expecting this within the next month.
So it basically turns out from what Dimitri just said, there are two sources of income. One is for connecting power, for it being included in this Gonka network. The second is for the actual use of AI calculations. That's the second source of income, and there will be separate payouts. Do I understand correctly?
Yes. In short, Alexei, it's as simple as possible. Either you're stuck in yesterday trying to create, well, no, you won't be able to compete with the big players, to create an alternative artificial intelligence. Or you join Gonka and get access immediately. Accordingly, the demand for this worldwide is only increasing. And that's the answer to whether the Gonka token is popular or not.
And here's another answer, It's worth noting that the Gonka token is actually involved. It's utilitarian, meaning it's part of the processes it'll be used to pay for computations, thus increasing demand. And since the number of computations is constantly growing and will grow exponentially, the demand for Gonka will also grow.
So right now it seems, it makes sense, as they say, like Bitcoin miners getting in, they got in at the very beginning of the whole story, and you can also get into the pool, right?
It's the very beginning now, 3 months in.
So I don't have to do anything for it. I just, roughly speaking, go in, connect the app, register, and then what happens next?
That's the thing. You don't need to buy hardware. You just register in your account. You can buy power, specifically invest in mining, or you can also buy a license and get pool returns too.
We've prepared simple, clear conditions for anyone. You find the Formula X AI platform, register on the website, reach out to the person who gave you this information, get support, connect, choose the amount of power you want to use for mining, pay for that power, and start mining. And then there are licenses, right? The more power you want to take, the higher the license you need. A license is, well, your fee, your commission for the service. So we provide a service, a VIP service for any client for mining the Gonka token. That's our mission. So for anyone, even without any technical knowledge about Gonka, they just heard it'll be like Bitcoin in 2011. They want to earn, they can come invest a certain amount in power and get coins, Gonka, which in the future could grow like 1,000 times.
And besides that, in your personal account, there's full transparency. You'll see how much you invested and how much you received.
Yeah, that point actually. The whole pool is with you, all my money will be with you. But how do I know you're not cheating? And maybe you're giving me less than your pool is actually earning.
Well, all commissions are transparent. We work with the client 80 to 20. Yes, so a client can look for some pool. Look for different pools. By the way, there are many pools today. See roughly how many tokens a particular pool pays out. Check the transparency. Choose us. After seeing the full transparency, seeing the amount of tokens we've already mined, that is, how many people are currently participating in mining. Yes, see that we're market professionals, see that we have a good, strong IT team, and basically make the decision to be with us. So we work with the client 80 to 20. So for them, it's practically, well, unnoticeable, meaning from all the mined tokens, they get 80%. It's clearly and transparently visible through the hash rate, through the smart contract, through the wallet.
So it's all through smart contracts, I see. Yes, and he can calculate that this amount, even with that commission, is more than in any other pools because we have very good rental prices. And we have a very cool IT team that handles the service.
So, optimizing rental costs plus professional setting optimization allows you to get more coins than in other pools.
So it turns out that if you look at the pool market that has already formed in this race, you have advantageous differences and a competitive edge.
I'd say other pools aren't even really competitors yet.
So if a person invested 1,000 USDT,
I wouldn't want to offend anyone who's already operating.
Well, these are small ones, like in the beginning of Bitcoin mining, when people used their own computers or saved up for a video card. One or two, they also joined in and started gathering others who want to connect and buy another card. So you already have the capacity that allows you to scale without compromising growth, right? I would compare mining pools to car manufacturers. I mean, first there was only Ford, then Mercedes, McLaren's, and everyone else appeared. Koreans, Chinese, then the Chinese bought Volvo, all the factories, and brought their own service. So whoever provides better service and cares more about customers gains more mass. And accordingly, these are our principles. That is service, volume, and good connections. By the way, we have a connection with the Liebermans and connections with equipment manufacturers. So we're waiting for new equipment to be the first to connect to it and get the maximum, you know?
well, look, if a person invests 1,000 USDT, they get 1,000 GNK tokens. If you had bought 1,000 USDT worth and got 1,000 Bitcoins back then, would you be happy?
Well, of course, yes. But can I buy for 1,000 now? Well, those are approximate figures. Approximate figures, it all depends on the mining difficulty. So the cost is roughly that. For now, it's very conditional. The cost of mining can go up or it can go down. Yes, accordingly, the benefit is to participate specifically through mining to receive them. It's guaranteed that you'll have tokens at the best rate in the most optimal way. And will the number of tokens decrease, like Bitcoin's halving? Absolutely, yes, absolutely. It's a complex model. It's provided for here. So for what period is this? Let's say I joined your pool. How much time do I have? Well, you need to read the tokenomics white paper and economic model on the Gonka website. You'll see there are epochs, meaning a certain number of tokens is allocated for each epoch, and all the miners in the world take exactly that. This amount of tokens is distributed across all mining pools, and then it's proportional to how much each person has invested.
So it turns out, friends, that now is the sweetest time, the very beginning, when, roughly speaking, your money can bring you the maximum benefit, right?
Well, here's a simple example. 3 months ago, as soon as Gonka started, you could mine the token for 2 cents. Back then, there were about 40 to 50 GPUs, of computing power. After some time, the power increased. The number of GPUs grew to 400 to 500, right? And the cost at that time was already 20 cents. Today, it's 5,000, 7,000 GPUs, right? So just look at that.
In 3 months, it's like...
In 3 months.
That's exponential growth, isn't it?
The price is $1. The price is $1. So if you had come 3 months ago, we didn't know about it, right? It was 2 cents. So now it's $1. So someone has already made 50 times their money. Someone has, yes. But we could even do 1,000 times because this is only the beginning of the journey. 5,000 GPUs, just think about that number. 5,000 to 7,000 GPUs at an average cost of $25,000 to $35,000 for one H100 GPU. That is $250 to $270 million worldwide, all in just 3 months. That is the total value of the equipment that is involved in mining the Gonka token.
So it turns out that in terms of capitalization, it's overtaking Bitcoin at the start, right?
It's overtaking it in both capitalization and speed. It did in 3 months what Bitcoin took 7 years to do.
So if we, let's say, project your forecast over time, then it turns out that in a year, for example, we could be recording a podcast here, and the GNK token will be at least $100 or maybe even 1,000.
Such a possibility exists. I mean, there are no guarantees, but the possibility exists. Oscar Hartman gave the right answer to this. I recommend you watch his podcast. But he said that, yes, indeed, there is a 1% chance that everything the Lieberman brothers are saying is true, but this percentage is growing every day because the monopoly is growing. The monopoly is growing. I'll finish my next thoughts now. But if all this happens, that is exactly the way the network is developing now, it will continue to develop. This is a $1 trillion market, and from this $1 trillion market, billions, real billions, will fall into the hands of the holders, well, the mining pools and the large holders of the Gonka token.
So it turns out that now we should strive as much as possible to maintain the capacity, just like the Bitcoin miners did at the very beginning.
Yes.
And now they, roughly speaking, own the situation and control the market. Let's say the whales there, the 1,000 Club, and that's it.
Let's take a moment to think about this. What is it exactly that confirms the predictions about the future? A future where artificial intelligence will not remain centralized, but instead will become decentralized? What are the signs or pieces of evidence that really support these predictions and make us believe that this shift toward decentralization is actually happening in the world of AI? Well, as soon as power is concentrated in one pair of hands, that is, some kind of authoritarian regime or dictatorship arises, right? So one way or another, we see that society is structured in such a way that it seeks to overthrow it, that is, to break free.
Let's move on to some specific questions now. Like, for example, the investment amount, let's call it that again, incorrectly. The amount that I can, so to speak, spend.
That's fine, call it whatever you want.
Yeah, into the mining pool of your Formula X platform. What should it be? Starting from how much? Like how much? Well, $150,000?
Simple, innovations, and for everyone. You can read what's written on the t-shirt. Yeah, well, we don't set any limits at all, neither on the high end nor on the low end either. For instance, Margolan Seysembayev, after talking with the Lieberman brothers, decided right there on the podcast to put in $1 million. Whoa, so can we handle $1 million? Yes. And that's exactly why we're creating the pool, to handle 1, 2, 3, 10, and even 100 million.
So the capacity allows for it?
The capacity is there, and our team is ready to process that money. Well, if you have $500, welcome. We're open to everyone. To everyone, absolutely everyone. I would, for example, recommend, just a recommendation, not financial advice, that 10 to 20% of your free funds, of your capital, can be invested in capacity to get the maximum amount of Gonka, especially at the start. Imagine we have a time machine, you go back to 2015, and you have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin and then come back. How much would you have taken then?
Bastards, who's asking this question?
We already said.
Well, of course, I'd go all in, my grandma's.
All in?
All in, I would have taken all my savings.
Now ask Sergey how much he's putting into Gonka.
How much are you putting in? I tell everyone I'm going all in, meaning with all my funds. But then again, you shouldn't do that unless you have various sources of income, then it's okay.
But don't do that.
Don't do that, taking out loans, borrowing money or something. But specifically,
don't.
Money you can, let's say. It's still a risk after all.
Take Margolan, for instance. He put in $1 million. And the founder, the creator of Bitfury, the mining pool, put in 50 million. He didn't go into Gonka mining, he went into equipment manufacturing.
So, building the infrastructure, right?
Which will be 10 to 50 times more productive than NVIDIA's equipment. NVIDIA is a fat monopolist. So, small companies, well, not that small, right? The largest manufacturers of Bitcoin equipment can make faster chips, more powerful computing, and provide even cooler equipment specifically for the AI computing market. By the way, the Lieberman brothers are waiting for it.
So we're not just talking about pools and some participants joining anymore.
That's the answer to your question about how much you can put in, what amount.
People are already getting into the production of, let's say, the infrastructure itself. So the race has really entered a good initial stage now.
If you look at it, Margolan is a billionaire and he invested $1 million, so that's 1%. He risked about 1%, give or take. I think he's a former billionaire.
But here, those who expect a 20 to 30% return by tomorrow shouldn't get in. That's not it. That's not what this is about. It's not about 20 to 30% by tomorrow, but also here.
The time frame is 1, 3, 5 years. A question often asked is how to participate if you have nothing to invest. Is it possible to earn anything at all?
You can use social capital.
Yes, of course, many people, opinion leaders, networkers, communicators, can act like a real estate agent or a broker, or like with a bank, where you recommend a card and get cash back or some commission. It's the same here. We have a referral system. You can recommend the Formula X platform to your family and friends and earn commissions. From those, you build up capital that can then be directed into
mining. You're recording already, right?
So if you don't have financial resources, you have time resources that you can invest in order to, either way, you're spending either money or time. Every week we hold professional meetings, highly specialized ones, aimed at studying the product, technical features, and legal formalities. And also meetings on the affiliate program, on development, how it can be done via the internet, how it can be done in comfortable conditions. We teach everything, we provide guidance, we have mentorship, we have support. In other words, it's a service. So service is our mission.
So there are already chats and a YouTube channel and a chat in 3 languages, Russian, English, and Spanish.
So it turns out you're positioning yourselves like a kind of Yandex delivery. Convenient, always at hand, only in the field of, let's say, making money, right? By the way, our idea is that we can mine not only the Gonka token on our facilities, thanks to our engineers and our connections, but other tokens too. For example, Pavel Durov's project, Ton. Yes, so we can set up a pool for that as well. Pasha, if anything, give us a call.
It's all good. So about the utility of Gonka. Look, you just said it right. You're like Yandex Food, right? Now imagine a cyclist just riding a bike, pedaling, exerting effort, right? It's like in Bitcoin mining. That is, they use power to confirm hash transactions, to get a fraction of a Bitcoin or a whole Bitcoin. But here, the Gonka project itself, it's not just a cyclist on wheels, he's also delivering food, providing utility to society. And Gonka itself provides utility because 99% is for training and expanding the work of artificial intelligence.
Since we're getting so specific, let's dive a little deeper. It also turns out that GNK and Gonka are a blockchain. And let's compare it with Bitcoin, with the blockchain, right? Well, because that's where we're headed, so to speak. You can't say better or worse. It's a completely new approach, a new paradigm. When mining Bitcoin, a huge amount of electricity is consumed, 1. A huge number of computations, 2. Just to decrypt and mine, that is to decrypt Bitcoin, meaning the hash, meaning performing these complex calculations essentially for nothing, just so a new Bitcoin appears. In the case of Gonka, 99% of the computations are used productively for AI training and for processing references, meaning requests and problem solving for AI. And only 1% is the actual race, comparing with other pools, confirming your market share, meaning weight, your speed, in order to receive the reward. So that's the fundamental difference from Bitcoin.
Regarding your pool or your company, let's call it that, is there a legal entity, registration, its legality, its legitimacy?
Full legality. The company was opened in December accordingly. All the regulations, documents, disclaimer, offers. The client can read everything on the website after registering. Opening it before making any decisions about cooperating with us. So all the reporting, transparency, all of this is in the personal account. So you can compare it with other pools and decide that yes, indeed, our service is better.
In general, legally, mining is already legal almost all over the world, including in Russia. Mining pools are also legal. I don't know how much we will develop here specifically in this part.
In the legal field, well, some say there is no legislation on mining. I have an acquaintance. He has a 40 megawatt mining center in the Moscow region, a mining hotel. So to load 1 megawatt of electricity with equipment, you need to spend about $1 million. So $40 million worth of mining, Bitcoin mining, is happening today, right now. And the cost of mining Bitcoin today is $87,000. It's trading at
63, the number.
63. So why don't all mining centers in the world suddenly shut down at the same time? How is it that Bitcoin is, cheaper? That is, cheaper than the cost of obtaining it. So those who mine Bitcoin, they've made a decision. I, for example, need 1,000 Bitcoins. Accordingly, they invest in equipment. They don't care what the price is today, what the price is tomorrow. They need 1,000 Bitcoins, period. So over a certain period, they get their 1,000 Bitcoins. They clearly understand where the economy is going, where gold is growing, how geopolitics works, how the economic system is developing in general. They clearly understand that with 1,000 Bitcoins, they live much more peacefully than without them. Therefore, the cost of mining doesn't matter, and you can't just buy 1,000 Bitcoins on the market. The same goes for Gonka. So when you've decided that you need 1,000 Gonka coins, or say 10,000, you have a clear regulation, and you get that number of coins, they're yours.
Elon Musk said that now annually, 5% of professions will be reduced due to replacement by robots or artificial intelligence. 5% a year minimum. So you can calculate in 20 years, roughly in 20 years, artificial intelligence will take everything from humans. So the question is, whose hands will it be in and how can everyone use artificial intelligence? So we've now come to such a question. Yeah, I also wanted to ask it. Why is a monopoly in AI bad?
Monopoly is just bad, in principle, and every government has fought it forever with antitrust laws because monopolies twist people's arms and make life impossible, especially with AI. It's an intellectual edge. Using AI gives you an intellectual edge. The smarter you are, the more of the world's wealth you can claim. So if it's available to everyone, then everyone's prosperity grows. If it's only for a select group, then only their prosperity grows.
Well, that's how it is now, right, with the monopolists.
Well, some very big players have actually said, I'd honestly rather have just 1%. I mean, I'd much rather have 1% from a million users than 100% from just one.
Why would I put all my resources into Gonka mining right now? The thing is, AI agents are being developed right now. They're virtual assistants like Alice or whatever.
For various things, yeah.
For different tasks. Millions and billions of them will be created. Every person could have several AI agents. But AI agents can't use cash, they can't open bank accounts, but they can use crypto. And to solve tasks, they'll use cryptocurrency, including Gonka, for instance, to compute a task or solve a problem. I can see that growth is inevitable. It's really just a matter of time, of how long, whether it's a year or 2 or 5 years. It's possible that some big company or a major miner suddenly appears, buys $1 billion worth of gear and
takes over 51%, of the mining, and sets up a monopoly and takes over Gonka. But the Gonka network is actually protected from that, because the idea of buying up tons of equipment doesn't just occur to one person. I mean, at the exact same time, hundreds of people in different countries get the same idea. And so, they started with 40 GPUs, and today there are over 5,000. So 150 GPUs come online at once when there were only 40 total. 150 here, 150 there, 150 there. In the end, nobody has a monopoly. It's the same with Bitcoin. In all its history, no one has ever had a 51% monopoly. No one's been able to create those kinds of conditions. For 2 reasons. The idea of buying up a lot of mining equipment occurred instantly. Not just to you, but to 1,000 people worldwide, and they all raced in different countries without telling each other to scale up their power. So in the end, nobody hits 51%. Secondly, if anyone ever reached 51%, they'd destroy themselves and destroy Bitcoin entirely, because everyone's faith in it would completely collapse. So as long as it's decentralized, it serves as an ark, a lifeline for everyone and for capital. The moment it's in just one person's hands, it becomes useless to everyone. That's why someone who could even reach 51% doesn't do it, because they don't want to destroy themselves.
If mining Gonka is really so incredibly profitable, just as you claim it is, then why don't you simply go ahead and mine all of it yourselves, keeping every bit of the profit entirely for yourselves? What's stopping you from doing exactly that?
We do mine, we do take it.
Following the Pareto principle, we take 20 to 80.
Well, that answers your question. Imagine you went ahead and built or bought yourself a telephone exchange, and you only have one telephone. What kind of profit would you get? Or is it better to connect 1,000, 100,000, or 1,000,000 subscribers to your exchange?
Right, it's like when people pool their money to buy something expensive, they can afford even, the priciest equipment. They chipped in and bought it. Like if I had to invest in, say, one server, how much is it, Dima?
Well, for 8, what you would need is a service panel that is equipped with 8 GPUs, and you would also need to install, let's say, roughly 10 of those panels, right? Let's do the math, 35,000 times 8, calculated on a calculator.
Around $200,000, $300,000.
And then times 8 again. So that's 1,600,000 for a cabinet the size of a fridge.
So an average person can't afford that, but here the opportunity is provided.
Plus, that cabinet needs liquid cooling, maintenance, a steady power supply, security, specific temperature and service conditions, timely servicing, and monitoring. It's on an industrial scale. So who can actually do all that?
So it turns out we're even looking at this as a kind of partnership, right? It's not just something that's only for me.
Formula X is a gateway for anyone to access high technology, meaning innovations are accessible to everyone. Formula X.
It's great that absolutely anyone can take part in this without any knowledge of IT or technology. You just register like on any other platform, buy computing power, and get Gonka coins in return, hold them, and get rich.
And people ask, how much time do I need to spend on this? Basically, once you've registered, got your personal account, and opened your wallet, that's it.
Yeah, in just a few clicks. Right, create a digital wallet, register your account, pay for the electricity, take your tokens, and then go about your business as usual.
Listen, but many people still don't even get it, not just about crypto, but also the whole AI thing. And they're only just now probably coming around to this, realizing that it's over, the time will have been lost. So, are we going to take people like that on board?
Yes, we'll have training. I mean, it won't just be, come join us, we're waiting for you, but there will also be training.
For people who don't know what cryptocurrency is, what a crypto wallet is, or how to open one.
I'll put it this way. The future is developing very unevenly, and we're in for some very big shocks. Meaning there will be those who understand something, know their way around, manage to buy something, who have Bitcoin, who have Gonka. And then there will be those who have nothing, no wallets, no Bitcoins, no Gonka, no robots, no artificial intelligence, and their profession won't be needed by anyone either. Street sweepers aren't needed, robots sweep, taxi drivers aren't needed, self-driving cars roam, painters, designers, builders, plasterers aren't needed. In other words, no one is needed. So the question is, either you wake up tomorrow and you and your profession are useless to everyone, or today you figure out what Gonka is, what crypto wallets are, what crypto is, and we'll help with that. Formula X for everyone is a guide into this infrastructure. Simple, easy, accessible.
Guys, buy Gonka, otherwise the race is already happening without you.
No, you don't have to buy anything.
When I first posted a video about getting into mining Gonka and inviting people to join me, about 200 people wrote to me, I think. 200 who want to know about it. And they even wrote from India, from Africa. And so now we're waiting with them for everything to start working in English. And
there's feedback, yeah. Because even on my end, when I, let's say, did some preliminary prep, made a couple of posts, some stories, people wrote to me who aren't even just not into crypto, they're not into AI at all. They're saying, I want in, show me how. I'm like, wait, guys, it's all coming. The platform is being finalized right now. The adaptation is underway. You'll find out everything. How much money, for how long? Do you need to sell something? Kidneys? Is a kidney enough? No, don't do that. Take it easy. Just invest as much as you can, let's say, into this story to realize you're in the race. Yeah, I'm very interested.
For those who are really afraid, you can try starting with a test amount. It's not scary. Just to see how it works, look at it, feel it, get it, and then make a decision.
To see the transparency, openness, and accessibility.
Right, so then another question came up. How long will my money be working in this mining? I've joined the pool with pleasure now, without any doubts.
Well, actually, the full cycle is 180 days, meaning the equipment rental lasts 30 days, which is 1 month. And all the mined, received coins are unlocked via smart contract over 180 days. So that's 180th per day.
So let me ask again, for the average person, if I put in $1,000, how soon can, let's say, get it back? Well, in the form of Gonka.
After you deposit a certain amount for power, the power rental begins, specifically a 1-month rental. The equipment runs for a month and you get Gonka in return. That's it, you now hold the coin. If you want to continue, you buy more power. By the way, I'm often asked the same question, and I asked it myself at first. Like if the company buys equipment, I didn't know it was through a rental, right? I thought the company buys it, my money starts working, and I'd only get paid for 1 month, 30 days. Why is that? Why not continue after that? Then I realized the company doesn't buy equipment. It rents power because the equipment is expensive. Renting can be done quickly, instantly. But if you order equipment, between shipping, setup, and all the customs clearances, it's a very long process. So, renting existing power is fast, it's almost immediate.
And can I get some kind of license? For instance, I have a certain amount and I'd like it to work. Not for a month, but for a year, let's say. Is that even possible?
Yes, of course. So, according to your financial plan, you could say take your $10,000, schedule it monthly, and put $1,000 into mining every month.
What about all at once? And have them distributed?
You can do it all at once.
So there's that kind of flexibility, right?
Whatever works for you.
For example, if you earn a monthly income or salary of, say, $2,000, you could take $500 from your salary every month to invest in Gonka mining and just have a plan like that, month after month.
And what if I also want to offer this opportunity to other people as well? You see, I have an active and engaged community, a network of acquaintances, so to speak. If I do that, do I receive rewards in Gonka tokens, or are there perhaps some other types of units or forms of compensation involved?
Well, both in USDT and in Gonka tokens. So we have several types of bonuses in the affiliate program. Yes, you should learn the details at an affiliate meeting, more in depth. But briefly, I can say, imagine a year has passed and 1,000 people, based on your recommendation, now hold the Gonka token. And from all those 1,000 people, a portion of the Gonka tokens came to you through the affiliate program. Right? So our pool, the mining pool, doesn't keep all the tokens for itself from that commission. Instead, it gives the lion's share of that commission back to the community to incentivize ambassadors and develop the affiliate program. So the referral system keeps growing.
To understand in more detail, you should come to our meeting and listen carefully to what the project is, Gonka Formula X, what the reward plan is, and how you can earn income not just from mining, but also with a license.
So if right now, at this moment, you don't understand what we're talking about here at all, guys, you can learn, reach out, and there will be links, and the guys will explain everything to you in an accessible way, very simply.
Yes, we'll be doing these mini presentations and mini meetings each and every week, talking about the whole idea of Gonka. And we'll talk about affiliate programs that allow you to achieve certain financial results.
And this is available not only to the Russian-speaking population, I repeat, but also in English and in Spanish, in 3 languages for now.
In general, how global of a project is Gonka?
The Formula X platform is forming a board of directors, that is, a director for the Latin American market, a director for the European market, a director for the Asian market, meaning India's connection is planned. So right now is the phase when anyone with an active life position and connections in various markets can take a directorial position and receive the corresponding bonuses, oversee an entire region and receive appropriate compensation for it. So now is the golden time, it's the beginning. That is the time of the fast, those who make decisions quickly.
Well, in principle, this can be applied to everything now. If you think fast, you act immediately. You don't just need to think, you also need to take some progressive actions. So if you have the potential, a community, and a huge desire to enter the Formula X environment, then reach out. Access is still open for now while there are still vacancies. Well, we touched on the fact that everything is globalization in AI. Why is a monopoly, well, bad?
Remember, in every city, in every district, there used to be taxi drivers, their own taxi drivers, apps in every city, several taxi fleets, yes. Now there is only Yandex. So the market monopolist sets its own prices, dictates prices to the carriers. That is, there isn't a single satisfied driver and, well, it just charges any commissions because it's a monopolist.
Outrageous ones.
Outrageous, yes. So when you buy a car, let's say a Tesla, right, it seems to you that it's yours. However, it won't always obey you, it won't always take you where you need to go because it has someone who can turn it on, turn it off, disconnect it and so on. So there are certain subscriptions, right? So if you don't pay for them, then accordingly, it doesn't work for you. The same will happen in the future with robot manufacturers. Yes, that is AI manufacturers. So a monopoly in one set of hands is power in one set of hands. Well, not always. It usually, as a rule, always gathers resources into a single pair of hands. And you'll pay as much as you're willing to pay at the maximum. And all of humanity could work only to serve these monopolies in the end. If it doesn't create alternatives, if it doesn't create decentralized tools.
Why will the demand for AI computing constantly grow? Because with the number of robots, and robots are
beings with built-in artificial intelligence, but they connect, meaning it's not just fully autonomous within the robot, but they unite and connect into a single cloud. So there's a general cloud AI and there's the robot's AI. And so if one robot, for example, learns something, then all robots learn it simultaneously through the cloud, and these cloud computations will grow. More and more power is needed because the robotics industry will also grow. There will be a huge number of them. All kinds of drones, aircraft, cars, trucks. All of this will also be through AI. So I don't even know. I think it's some kind of endless...
A global distribution, as I understand it, of the market, right, of these capacities. And that's why it's called a race. Yeah, I just realized now why it's a race.
A race for the market.
Because it's a race due to a truly crazy...
At the start of the journey, the penny dropped.
Yeah. So much so that I realized I really need to be in the race.
I have this image now. It's when Altman and whoever else created AI, they're sitting in Formula One, all driving race cars, and whoever's first out there is catching up to the others.
So if you haven't realized yet that you need to be in the race, well, watch carefully again what we talked about and make the right decision.
Yes, you definitely need to watch podcasts with thought leaders like Margulan Seizenbayev, like the founder of the Bitfury Fund, that we talked about today, Oskar Hartmann and Alexander Sokolovsky. Just Google the Lieberman brothers, check Wikipedia, who they are, what successful businesses they've built, how they cashed out of their last business. Basically, understand they have money and see what they're creating.
And when you realize that all of this, let's say, resonates with you, then reach out to the person who sent you this video and ask them for more structural details that will allow you, so to speak, to get in.
Make a decision.
Yes, and make sure to make the right decision.
If you don't know where to find these videos, there will be a link to our channel under the podcast. They're all posted on our channel. We will leave a Google form in the description below where you can easily ask us your trickiest and most challenging questions, absolutely any questions at all, which we will answer in the next podcast and which we also answer during our weekly briefings in our community.
Well, to spark some interest, let's put together some kind of gift for the most interesting, tricky, and original
question. Yes, of course, a bonus. Everyone who registers on the Formula X platform gets a bonus of $25 worth of mining power for the Gonka token. So, simple registration, no money, no payments, just right away.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely.
Instantly. It's a freebie, guys. It's what you need. Well, for many at least.
Everyone join the race now?
Yeah, give it a try.
First come, first served. So you can,
Why didn't we start with this? I don't get it at all, huh?
You can just take a look.
The app launches tomorrow, guys.
How your counter is ticking, how the mining power works, how it's credited, check the hash rate, track how the company, received these tokens to understand that you already, potentially have these $25. And there's a small condition, it'll be written out what you need to do to collect those $25.
Friends, congratulations to everyone, actually. You're all already partners of the Formula X company already because you already have $25. You just don't know where to get them.
How to get them?
Follow the link as soon as you can because... this really limited offer will end, just like the Gonka tokens at a good price. So you have every chance.
I think we should explain in more detail how you can earn here and on what. Exactly how you can earn here and on what. First of all, it means everyone creates their own financial capital, their future, right? So answer this question for yourself. In my future, do I have an apartment, a cottage, a car there? Can I provide an education for my children if I have a large family? If so, then you definitely need capital. So this capital, if you don't have it today, it means tomorrow you could have it. If you don't have 1,000 Bitcoins today, then tomorrow you could have 1,000 Gonka tokens.
And there definitely won't be Bitcoins ever again, yeah. Parabarampampu.
That's the first option. That is to make sure you get as many Gonka tokens as possible. And the second option, the referral system. The affiliate program is set up in such a way that people can earn $1,000 a month and 10,000 and 100. So we've done detailed calculations on what actions need to be taken to earn through the affiliate program $100,000 and how much of that to keep for yourself and how much to put into Gonka token mining power. That's a decision everyone makes for themselves.
So I take it that by scaling yourselves, you help partners, let's call them that, to scale as well in their...
Absolutely. From the funds earned, from commissions, from our own resources, we give 80% to our partners as various bonuses and incentives so that the partners specifically earn, the ambassadors specifically, who promote the Formula X platform. Thanks to proper promotion plus thanks to a proper affiliate program, Formula X will become, in the near future, the #1 pool in the world.
For Gonka mining, right? And for mining other tokens too.
Yes, we'll decide.
Pavel Durov's. Sazon.
Yes.
But why should I do all this through you guys? What makes you so great? I'll take 1,000 of my hard-earned bucks and buy it. I'll find this Gonka somewhere, put it in my pocket, and that's it, and I'll forget about you.
Yes, of course, one will buy on P2P, another won't, because volumes are hit or miss. So you'll buy for 1,000. The price will immediately jump from $1 to $1.50 or more. That's the first thing. Second, right now there's Gonka on Solana, on Ether, on BNB, I mean meme coins. Like V-Gonka, S-Gonka, T-Gonka, meaning fake tokens, scammers, hypesters. Those hyping this topic, you have no certainty that you're buying the actual Gonka. And not just some wrapper, first of all. Secondly, when there are some pools, you instantly throw your hard-earned money into them, right? And they instantly show you some counter claiming that you supposedly have some Gonka, so there's a big question about them. I mean, how does that happen?
The question is, who's behind the pools? Are they real people or what? Are they transparent or not? Well, I mean, you see openly. Scammers don't come out in the open.
Well, let's move on to another question then, right? Well, I read about the Liebermans, saw it on a podcast. They say you can connect to the Gonka network within 24 hours. What are your conditions?
Yes, if you're a professional market player, if you're an experienced IT specialist and have connected to the Gonka network before, you can rent new capacity very quickly. I mean, we have pools being formed at $10,000, right? So if you put in, say, 1,000, right, you won't instantly rent capacity for 1,000. In any case, you wait until 10,000 is accumulated. Someone puts in 500, someone 1,000. As soon as 10,000 is collected, they go to work. Yes, and we leave a buffer of a few days for the connection. For setup, we're actually designed to handle volumes of $10 million, not just like $100 or $500. So for that, we have agreements with large data centers to allocate these funds. Therefore,
so it turns out everything is in multiples of 10, meaning I can enter a pool individually starting from $10,000, right?
yes, for a major player, it doesn't matter if it's a day or two, we'll allocate their million within 24 hours or within 3 days. I mean, well, for a client who wants to see numbers, well, there are many such pools that just make up numbers. I mean, we're for real transparent business.
Transparency on the platform. Meaning anyone will be able to check how the pool works, how much is credited, how long it's been running.
Well, I can't wait to see this platform now, guys. Let's have question number 3 as well. Like China is shutting down miners, right? We're talking now about the decentralization of the whole network, right? The decentralization of the Gonka network. Is there some kind of decentralization for the Formula X platform? Won't some kind of official come along and say, hey, the Formula X servers are right here, so you'd better start paying us now? Or they'll just cut you off from the network entirely?
Well, first of all, Gonka itself is decentralized. Secondly, security is about dispersal, diversification, meaning there's a front and a back in any case for any company. There are those in plain sight and those who aren't. So the security system is built in such a way that we're ready to work for a very long time.
If we talk about Gonka itself, well, Gonka has an open source code on GitHub. Anyone can take it and use it. So a programmer can set everything up themselves. They can connect, they can monitor it, and reconfigure it. For that, you need to have the experience and the right education. And plus, the data centers where the power is rented are distributed as a rule. They're in America, somewhere in Europe, the Middle East, wherever the data center is, where the hardware actually sits.
Well, you can go to Gonka Hub right now, see how much equipment is on, what the power is, how many Gonka tokens all these miners will get in the current 24 hours. Accordingly, knowing the wallet, you can even understand which of the data centers this pool is renting power from. It's all that transparent. Yes, as of today, 50 data centers are mining Gonka.
So there's already such buzz and hype around this startup, right? This infrastructure, like an ecosystem already. But as I understand it, there's no major exchange listing yet. Is there any information on when it's going to happen and all that?
Well, from the Lieberman's interview, they said the listing is expected in summer or fall of 2026. That's the plan. Because according to the Lieberman brothers' forecasts, when they were recording the podcast with Oscar Hartman, they said we plan to raise 10 million in investments in the first quarter. But 3 months have passed and 250 million has already been invested.
So they decided to reach some critical mass and then get listed, right, on the exchanges, on the platforms.
Well, remember how it was with Bitcoin? Who even listed it? I mean, was there a Satoshi Nakamoto who went to an exchange and said, list Bitcoin? No. So as the turnover increased, as the market was created, the exchanges decided that they would list it themselves. They would trade it themselves. The same thing is happening with Gonka.
So they won't even need permission from the Libermans then?
Well, the Formula X IT team, our goal, for example, is to create a convenient, clear, and simple P2P exchanger, basically our own exchange for the Gonka token. So clients will be able to both buy and sell it through us once the community grows. So that's also one of the businesses.
And the functionality, I assume, will be, well, expanding?
Yes, and if you carefully study what's currently available to the public, the Binance Exchange, if you know about that exchange, has already written about Gonka and the GNK token several times.
So what does that mean? We're waiting for Gonka.
I think while there's no listing, now is the perfect time to just join the mining pool and go for it, mine the maximum amount.
Go all in?
For us, that's a plus.
There's time, you can still manage to mine it at a good price.
I understand that in 3 months, such, let's say, results, it's really going to be growing exponentially.
Billion four?
The lack of listing, especially right now, is a very significant plus for us. Because the listing itself, it usually creates those multiples.
Multiples, yeah.
Meaning it brings in a huge number of people who can buy. And accordingly, buy from whom? Meaning from those who have accumulated. So we have the opportunity to accumulate right now. Now is the best time for accumulation.
And if this all turns out to be a scam, guys, what will we do? And me, who's even going to put something in here?
Well, think about it yourselves. The Lieberman brothers, who've built more than one business and sold more than one business, who received massive investments from Wall Street funds, they work in Silicon Valley. They created the Gonka project. Is it profitable for them? If they make it a scam, then there won't be any business at all. It's more profitable for them to keep developing Gonka. And they say even if they take 1% of the market, the $1 trillion AI market, it'll be a very profitable investment.
Well, what is a scam? A scam is a fraudulent scheme. Here we have open source, here we have decentralization. If something doesn't work out, well, the market didn't accept it, the idea didn't take off, then we tried, it didn't work.
How else can you put it? How could it not take off? Not taking off would mean artificial intelligence won't need extra power for its development. Could that even happen? How fast is artificial intelligence developing right now?
Oh, very fast, very. I'm just watching. What I used to think was impossible is already old news now.
People used to use search engines, Google and Yandex, but now everyone asks their questions to GPT.
I just created an AI agent for myself recently, and it did it for me. I'm like, wow, and it's a bit rough, obviously, but it worked on it, generated a video, selected things. I think it performed some kind of analysis, and I'm thinking, man, that's just a thing, and now, well, this.
And by the way, while doing that, it was using these GPU video cards. Yeah, and so imagine how many people like you in the world will be using it, and consequently, will they be able to create enough capacity for all of it to work?
Lack of capacity.
But there's inevitable growth here, you see? And they say an AI bubble is being created in the market right now. I would probably say it's not a bubble, it's like a real new economy being created altogether.
Well, I'd say the world's only manufacturer of this equipment is the company NVIDIA, meaning the most expensive company in the world, the most highly valued and the highest market cap. But while it's all in one set of hands, they aren't very agile, they aren't in a big rush to produce new equipment, more powerful ones, to increase performance. And players that are small relative to NVIDIA, but large at the same time, like Bitmain, Bitfury, well, they are creating their own equipment. More and more of these hardware creators will appear all over the world. And they have no other way but to unite into a decentralized network and give decentralized AIs access to their hardware in order to somehow compete with NVIDIA. So this is the only alternative path.
Well, after words like that, I really want to go all in, guys. I don't know about you, but I'll be figuring out what I can do. We're looking forward to your app, guys. It's great that we gathered here and discussed everything. If you have any questions, subscribe. All the links and recommendations will be under this video. Reach out, write to us. For the trickiest question, Dimitri will come up with a prize. Well, in time, yeah. But anyway, here's the thing.
Thank you for your questions.
The tricky ones. Yeah, well, they were like, for me, I was still feeling loyal because this topic is very close to me, as it is for many who understand that AI has simply taken over all spheres. That many already, well, some even complain, but I don't want to complain. I want to enjoy this process. So that, like, if you can't beat the chaos, at least lead it. Well, this way, I think we can at least get involved and be, let's say, in the upper layers of this pyramid.
Excellent questions that can always be answered.
Yes, if you have any more questions, come to our open meetings every week. We'll be ready to take your questions now in the Google form that will be under this video. Yes, find the person who showed you this video and get access to the Formula X platform from them. Welcome, we are open to everyone.
And our guest was Dmitry Razumovsky, CEO of the Formula X project. Igor Bondarenko, Sergei Drozdovsky, and I, Alexei Voskresensky. It was great, guys. Hope you enjoyed it too.
Join the race.
Join the race. Don't miss this moment.
Come and join in today and be the first.
Pedal to the metal.
Yeah, on Formula One preferably. No, well, you can try other options.
On Formula X.
On Formula X. Formula One, for some reason, I keep saying Formula One. Formula X.
We'll turn things around by... Listen, Dima, we'll turn it around by a race car, right? Formula
X. And we can, are we still recording here? To participate in the Gonka project, you need the right car. That's exactly what Formula X is. Success is already built into the name. A formula that will carry you fast. And an X that will be maybe not even just one. And I think not just one, many X's. See you in the race.